Bedazzled by Business Central. So we have our traditional Meet Mary slide. I'm Mary Thompson, and this slide was really awkward until a few weeks ago because I didn't have a job, and this is where everyone posts where they're at. So I'm now proud to say that I'm with Cooper Perry IT. I am our Dynamics Angels guru, and what that means is I work with other partners around the world to help them start and build their own Business Central practice. I've been obsessed with Business Central since 2018, which is actually when the product came out. I switched from kind of operations and accounting career to consulting at that time, which was a great move and opportunity to get started with this new product. And then a little bit of, I guess, credentials for me. I've been working with small businesses for about the last 20 years. So today we're going to talk about Dynamics 365 Business Central. If I was a betting woman, which I am, I'd be willing to put my money on that you're way more familiar with the rest of the D365 Biz App suites, such as sales, customer service, project management. So I'm pretty excited to help give this amazing product some of the street cred it deserves. As I said, you can see here in this picture that there's lots of other areas that you're used to, but my friend Business Central, which is apparently a bad screenshot cut up here, but here it is kind of amongst the rest of the business applications. So Business Central is a business management solution for small and mid-sized organizations. It's often compared to the behemoth finance and operations, AX, I don't know, whatever we're calling it this month. And also, some people say that maybe it's just the cloud version of Navision. However, today you're going to see that it's truly a gem all on its own. The power of Business Central is that really it empowers small businesses. Technically, we would define a small business as anything under 500 employees. However, that's a pretty big number. And traditionally, I really work with companies that are more around, let's say, 250 people. The beauty of it is it helps to streamline the business process and enable users to make smarter decisions and accelerate growth. It has all of the functionalities somebody's going to need to effectively and efficiently run a business. You have things like a structured and sophisticated general ledger and chart of accounts. This feature is missing in a lot of other applications, especially that bad word I like to call QuickBooks. Also, you have multi-company and multi-currency capabilities. This means that this product can work with you no matter what country or what type of currency that you're working with. Again, something that's not featured in some smaller organizational systems. Also, you have financial dimensions, which allow for advanced out-of-the-box KPI reporting capabilities. And of course, since it's in the cloud, Azure AI and machine learning capabilities provide valuable insights such as cash flow and help business owners understand when customers may be late with payments. It also has sales orders, invoicing, and of course, procurement management capabilities. All the stuff a business owner needs to run their business. And if you need manufacturing and cost accounting, no problem. Business Central has you covered there, and it even has warehouse management. Beyond the basics. So I just described some of the great out-of-the-box capabilities that Business Central has, but there's also this wonderful program or this wonderful website called AppSource, where there's actually 874 different add-on solutions that you can tie seamlessly right into Business Central. So it allows the customers to fit the program to whatever they need. You can tailor it and customize it and use exactly what you need and not worry about things that you don't need. What I really like about this is maybe your company or a company that you're working with is really used to using one of these many programs. Here in the US, I always like to say ADP, which is a payroll reporting, right? Maybe you don't want to use the out of the box functionalities of Business Central and you've been using this one program for the beginning of time. No problem. There's 874 different opportunities to continue using that as well, right inside of Business Central. Then, of course, I like this picture because it explains how truly integrated Business Central is and why it's so connected. As you can see here in the bottom, it sits in the cloud. Therefore, it has access to all the amazing capabilities of Azure AI, and it's also connected to the Common Data Service. We can see over here that you also have the ability to be tied, because it's in the Common Data Service, you also have access to the Power Platform. So, oops, this is outdated. We know that this is actually Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power BI, or any other customized applications that you've created. So you can see also that you have a seamless integration between Office 365, and that includes things like Microsoft Word and Excel. So there's an easy integration between um, things. A lot of times in other programs, people are trying to find a way to get all of their data and information out of out of their system and into Excel. Then you have hours of Excel surgery where you're just trying to get some reportable data that you can actually use. Because it's already in the Microsoft 365 suite, it's already right in there, and I'll show you some great abilities of how easy this makes the program. I also mentioned that Business Central has out-of-the-box advanced reporting, and you can also utilize AI, as I mentioned to before, and do cash flow, where it will actually analyze your customers, their previous payment history, and help business owners determine if and when customers may be late on payments. This is huge, as cash flow is very important to smaller companies. In fact, 82% of businesses that fail do so because they don't have cash, or because they have cash flow problems. As I alluded to earlier, it sits on it's tied in with the Power Platform. And this is really beneficial because it means that you can easily extend Business Central to do anything that you need the system to do. As I also said earlier, often people will talk about finance and operations compared to Business Central. And I come into the consulting world actually as an F&O consultant, and also was working with Business Central. So one of the number one questions that I would get is, well, what's the difference between the two? So prior to my Power Platform experience and knowledge, I would say that, Business Central tells you what you're going to do with your business processes, where with F&O, you tell it what you're going to do. So essentially, you would have more flexibility with F&O in the past. But with Business Central and the Power Platform, it really enables users to make a modular system that's seamlessly integrated, and you can build any app that you need to that's outside of the out-of-the-box functionalities. I've done different things such as commission reporting apps And then I spent some time recently over the summer, it's not quite done yet, but using some of the other AI capabilities where you can take an invoice that a customer sent, I'm sorry, like a vendor sent you, a purchase invoice. You can use things like Power Automate to grab that PDF attachment and then take it into an approval process, read the important details that you need off of that, and then actually take that and drop it in as a pending invoice journal. So again, not quite done yet, but just showing all the different capabilities and ways that you can extend Business Central to be much more than even what it comes with right out of the box. And, I'm not the only one that thinks that Business Central is really the best thing out there. If you look at some of the momentum that's gone on in just the last 2 years, you can see some remarkable growth as well. There's been over 6,000 customers added, and that's this slide. I'll be honest with you, this slide's old. This is from probably May in the from Emboss. So I can only imagine, even in the last 3 months, how many more customers have been added. It's been 250% user growth year after year. Again, I said that, before in May, there were 650 plus solutions on AppSource. In just the last couple months, that's already gone up a little over 200 different apps. So you can see that it's everywhere. Also, there's 1,500 plus partners selling Business Central, and I hope to make that another 1,500 plus in the near future. And 75% of Business Central partners also sell other D365 products, which means that there's a lot of penetration in the D365 suite that really enables customers to have a customized solution. Plus, Microsoft's not going to say, okay, we'll just worry about big enterprises and let everyone else, or let QuickBooks or Sage handle all of the other, small business areas. That's not going to happen. And so as we see with everything else, Business Central is an evergreen product, which means it's always improving and creating new updates. In April alone, there was over 100 different improvements, and in Wave 2, there's even more. Some of the ones highlighted have been the bank reconciliation process. We also have mobile accessibility, which means that you can use the product right from your phone, which is super powerful for small business people. You're always on the go. And especially, even though we're a little bit quarantined right now and can't quite get out there in the real world, it doesn't mean that you're always attached to your computer and have the ability to answer questions that you need right from there. Now you can also use your mobile phone to also work wherever you are. There's an improved CDS integration, and actually coming in maybe October right now, it's a decent integration that's in there right now, but they're making it even better in the next coming months, where you'll have basically out of the box, super easy, great connection with the sales and CRM platform as well. And this smart list functionality is also a big seller for all of our GP clients, or people that are used to that product. You always like to have something that and that smart list functionality is making customers really happy because it's taking something that they're already used to and putting it into new product. Sorry, my mouse has gone out and I'm trying to, here, we'll just go like this. So one of the reasons that I'm really obsessed with Business Central is because it truly enables small businesses and owners to play on the same level as the big corporations at an affordable price point. For far too long, small businesses are forced to use and inferior applications because the state-of-the-art systems were simply out of their price point. Do you know how many small businesses there are in the UK? There's actually 5.8 million small business organizations. In the US, there are actually 90% of our sales, or 21 million small businesses, make up the economy. And I always like to say that, here in America, we have a term, it's called mom and pop shops. And really, that is just a small business owner or family run business. And my mouse is really distracting. I'm sorry. Okay. So now that I got that back. So, like I said, here in America, we use the term mom and pop, and that means it's a family owned business. And I'm sure that many other people out there can relate to this being a really near and dear area to my heart, because I grew up, my mom ran her own small business. So I spent a lot of time watching her pour her blood, sweat, and tears into her company and understanding the difficulties and challenges that are often faced. And like I said before, you're often using products such as QuickBooks or Sage that really are just clumsy and messy and have no integrity in them. For any of my accounting buffs out there, maybe you can understand and appreciate the concept that in QuickBooks, you can quote unquote post a journal. And then after that journal's been posted, you can go back and change the general ledger account. I mean, where's the control? What are you supposed to do with that? So I will say that a plus side of it is I've spent many, many hours fixing QuickBooks. So I really like this system because it's gap compliant and you don't run into those issues like you do in other accounting systems. And really, it allows businesses to worry about what's important to them. They didn't get into business because they love being in the system and working in bookkeeping and placing sales orders. No, they get into business because they love what they do. They're passionate about, maybe it's, selling a new product or creating a new service. That's what they're passionate about and what they want to do, not worry about the bookkeeping. So Business Central allows the business owners to really get into business and worry about what they want to, and let Business Central do the heavy lifting of the bookkeeping. So now we're going to do a little bit of a demo and story here. And what the story that we're going to kind of talk about today is, we're going to call it our company World Max. And it's a small business that's working to bring the Power Addicts community to children. Of course, we all know and love the concept of the UGs and the communities and how much just positivity that brings to our life and how much helping that is. So this company wants to bring that same concept through tech centers to children. So we're working with a small group of people who are promoting technology for good. And then what we're going to do is we'll be selling items and services to create hangout centers. And we're going to be working all over the world. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And what I would like to do is, in the chat, I'm going to enter an email address, and we're going to have somewhat of we'll test a live in-person interactive demo. So if you'll email this email address and say that you want to buy either a desk, a Surface Pro, a t-shirt, Xbox, or any of the combination, we'll see how some of the fun capabilities that we have. WorldMax11.microsoft.com. So we'll see if we get any emails there. And now let me pull up Business Central. All right, now I can share my screen again. I think we'll be safe here. Actually, let me change that I need the full screen so you can see my email in a second. Oh, I hear emails coming in. Okay, now we have the big deal. So, for all my people that are new that have never seen Business Central, this is, in fact, Business Central. May feel a little familiar to you if it looks like any of the other D365 products, which it's meant to do. It has a seamless interface with the other applications, which I'll show you as well. And just a quick navigation look and feel for the product here. Up here, of course, you see the company that I have set up as World Max, and then you also see very easy navigation to other modules. Then you have, depending on which module you have listed down here, you'll have other quick items. So again, everything's just kind of at a one screen stop. You also have customer insights where you can see, this week last week, my top customer was ReCloud, just some of those insight abilities that I was discussing before. You also have some quick actions over here. And, one thing I like to point out as well, it's a very customized role center as well. So if I simply go into here to my settings, I can do a couple different things. You see I've got some different actions here. But what I'm going to look at here is my settings. So we see that I've got my role, and currently that's the business manager. And as I pointed out, we have all of these different reporting capabilities that we can currently see. But now let's say, like what's very often in a small business is you have one person or a couple people, but they're wearing many different hats. So Business Central is really tailored to help them to be really efficient. So for example, let's say I'm working on human resources, right? Or I've got some employee stuff that I need to work on. I just simply change it to that. And it'll come up here in a second. You see that my screen looks a lot different, right? Because all I'm worrying about here is employees, absence, registration reports, things that are pertinent to human resources. You're not having to worry about all the other noise per se. Or let's say maybe I'm working in purchasing. Again, you see that my screen looks very different, but I have all of the things that are really important to somebody working in purchasing. And this just makes it a lot easier for somebody working in multiple roles to be able to quickly navigate to the things that they need. I'm going to switch back to the business manager because it gives me the most bang for my buck during these presentations. Also, if you ever need anything, there's a great option right here. Maybe you can't quite remember where something was, so I'm looking for sales. Great. Look, it tells me on my current page all the different options for sales that I can have, and I can even expand this to show all 7. Then it tells me different pages and tasks I can go to, reports, and then maybe you're getting new or you don't remember how to use something. It has documentation that's linked to Microsoft Learn right in here. Anything about sales that I want to know to, I've got my learning built in right here as well. And then also you can see, as I mentioned earlier, you have App Source, and it shows 118 different App Source products that I can use associated with sales. So maybe you're thinking that there's a better way for you to improve your process. I'm sure you can find it all right here. Moving down still in this navigation pane, you can see that we have drilled down activities. So for example, I see my sales right here. I can see exactly which sales comprise that 1906. Guess it's only one in here, but let's see if there's one let's see, we've got some overdue invoices. Yep, here you can see very quickly who all, is past due on their invoices and exactly which invoice number it is, when it was due, how much it's about, all with a quick click of a button. Also, right now, you see that these are green, which means that they're in an okay zone, but it's actually color-coded So again, whenever somebody signs in to do their job, you can quickly get a temperature read of how things are. If people were significantly past due, then this would show yellow or red. And the same thing with this. Basically, it's color coded to give you a quick indication of if you need to pay attention to that or not. Because often, whenever you come into work, maybe you're really overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. These out of the box capabilities allow you to quickly identify which needs your attention first. We also have these tiles as well that you can customize and move around depending on what's most important to you. So here you see we've got sales quotes, orders, invoices, and again, you can click right into these to see which open purchase orders you have, etc. Also, you have this, as I've alluded to many times, you have, because it's built in Azure and in the cloud, you have out of the box Power BI and insights that we can look at as well. And you can even select a different chart. You can see here, you've got all of these different out of the box charts. So maybe you don't really care who your top 5 customers are, but you're more concerned about your accounts receivable aging. With a click of a button, you can easily change that. And you can even just navigate through here. And if I go back to my other chart, I can also change the time period that I want to look at as well, whether it be day, week, month. See, just that easy, just to be able to change whichever reports that you need, which is very valuable. Again, you see all of this stuff I've done without ever leaving the main home screen. So also one of my other favorite parts is you can customize this dashboard. If I go up here to personalize in here, so maybe I don't want these accounts in here and I want to add something else. I can go ahead and add a field in here. And it'll tell you whichever one's available. Maybe that's not a good one, but I can add it here as well. So it says, manage my list. So I can decide if there's a different account that maybe is really important to me. Maybe I care to know exactly what's on my inventory. Great. Just again, it's just showing how easy it is for you to customize. Okay, just want to make sure I still have my audio. And then, of course, you also have, again, I keep talking about how easy the reporting is. So you have your trial balance that's right here, and you can look at your previous period or your next period. You can also set up different account schedules here. So if this isn't the report that you want, or you want it to do maybe net change or your balance instead, then you can change it just like that. We also have out-of-the-box Power BI reports. I did not have time to create a customized Power BI, so I don't have that there, but you can see how easy it is just to have everything started. You can also identify to have reports sent right into here. So, as I promised, one of the things I'm going to show is how easy it is to work with Outlook. So, I see here, so Scott's saying that he wants to buy a t-shirt. Great. What I can do is drop right down into here into Business Central. First, I'm going to go to Contact Insights. And as you can see right in here, I'm all inside Outlook. So it says Scott is not added, that he's not currently in here. Do I want to add him? Of course I do. Great. So he's a person, and I can even add a new company that he works for. So I'm going to say that I'll let it do an automatic number, and we'll say that he works with UG. So I'll say okay. Great. So now we have just like that. I would like to buy a t-shirt. So we need to get him a t-shirt though. So I can easily right from here, go to a sales quote, and I'll do new. Oops. Let me go back here for a second. So now that we have him in here, I'll go to Business Central and I'll do new, and actually I can just go right to invoicing him. Yep, that's great. Well, of course, it's giving me a little bit of a trouble right here, so that's okay. I'm going to just drop down here and we'll look at when I had stored up. So it says, hello, I'm looking for a new tech center and I need some things. Alrighty. So I can do from here a quote because they're asking for a quote. As you can see, it pulls, it has smart technology. I guess that'd be the best way to say it. So it can say that this says that I need 4 desks and 20 computers. Well, you can see that this quote or the Business Central says suggested line items. So it automatically read what I needed from here and popped it over here. So I'll say 20 just to make sure, because that's what they asked for. Now I'll add both of these and hit OK. Great. So now I can see I've got my quote, but I'm not done, right? I need to send it to my customer. So I'm going to send this by, I guess I'll send it as an attached PDF. So that went ahead and did it. We'll do it by email as well. It's thinking. So now if I look up here, right, it's got my quote. And if I open my quote, I can see right in here, it has exactly what I wanted. And I've done all of this right from, and then I can go ahead and send it. And I've done all of this right from Outlook. So the point of it is that it's this nice, easy integration and somebody that has many things to do, because then also, let's see in here, look, there's a Surface sale. Oh, you've got Surface. I can buy some Surface Pros on sale. Great. Yes, please. Let me get some. So again, right from here, I can go to create a purchase order. And I won't go through that whole bit again, but the point of it is that you can see I was able to easily navigate and get my work done in just my Outlook. So a lot of times, I mean, I think we can all appreciate having lots and lots of emails, and how am I ever going to get through all of these emails? But it's okay. With Business Central and this out of the box Outlook integration, you can actually handle a lot of your daily work without ever leaving the screen, which is really helpful in not having to go back and forth multiple screens and jump in one system and into another, which really slows down your productivity. So with that, let's see here. I've got that's basically the end of my demo and my quick 101 on Business Central, its capabilities, and some of its seamless integrations. Looks like everyone is Business Central pros. I don't know if there's any questions that you've had, but feel free to ask them. All right.
I have a question actually. So you mentioned the whole the CDS, or Data Flex as it's now called, integration. Where's that going? You know, what's the current situation, and where do you see it moving in the future?
Yeah, so I think that along with the rest of the Dynamics products, in the future, the big aspect of it right now, it's a little bit clunky. There's some setup that you can do for the integration, but in the future, the plan and the process is just to make it even more seamless. So right now, you can, like I said, you can extend it pretty easily, but I think in the future, it's just going to be more of an an easier out of the box capability, and really empowering, your users and your citizen developers more. So it's just going to continue to work on that. Right now, like, you have to have a couple different sign-in names, and you can only have one user, and they have to have super user power. And there's, of course, a lot of security in steps and processes to get that essentially set up and going. It's totally doable. I mean, I figured it out through Microsoft Learn Documents, but in the future, the process is to make that a more streamlined process so that people can truly integrate with the different D365 applications a lot easier.
Cool, thank you. I mean, I think that's one of the challenges is that given that obviously we've got D365 for sales,
Right.
from the sort of customer engagement side of things,
Yeah.
so when you're looking at positioning Business Central against the sort of its big brother, if you like,
Yeah.
for sales, how do you kind of decide which is going to be best for a particular organization?
There's always a bunch of different, questions around that. A lot of it is I look at how many people they have and how many different roles that person. We got your question. How many different roles and things that those people are going to use to figure out what's going to be a better fit for them. I usually say that kind of smaller, of course, is going to go to Business Central. But even at that, I've seen some pretty large corporations work in Business Central. If they don't have super complex financial reporting needs, then Business Central is your place. So I previously come from a company that was really big into I don't know, biotech, biopharma, and a lot of those reporting capabilities or needs, I would say, and tax structures and things like that were pretty complicated and really, really intricate and had a lot of fixed assets. Business Central has fixed assets, but everything's going to be on a lighter version. So complexity really is a key indicator in that. And also right now, Business Central, doesn't have the localization that FinOps has. So let's see here. I think that it's available in like 26 countries, and the Big Brother finance and operations is, I don't know, it's like 126. Don't quote me on that, but the point, you know what I mean? It's kind of sometimes on where you're at. So right now, I'd say really the only place that Business Central isn't heavily inundated is like South America. And there are some African countries that have it. It's now recently launched in Australia and New Zealand. It's all over the UK and a lot of different parts of Europe, but not all over. And so I think that that's also a place that I would say. But again, some of the capabilities that I used to say, okay, well, these are, if you need this, then you're going to use finance and operations. But now with the Power Platform, I mean, like what can't you do, right? I was just recently on a call with somebody, and we had another CRM and Power Platform team, brought in, and the customer was saying, I have all these different silos of where my, I've got Excel for this program and another one for this program, because it was a pretty complex business operations. And he was thinking that he was always going to have to hold on to his homegrown mess. Well, I'll call it, just type of things that they were pulled together and make work to meet their business needs. And he thought he was always going to have to, stay on that. And we're like, oh, no, with the Power Platform, I mean, because he had everything in Excel, so of course, if you got it in Excel, you're not stuck to that, right? Like, we can build you a nice, Power app or dashboard that, again, can seamlessly integrate. So I guess that would be the kind of the longer answer is it's also changed, right? I mean, what I used to think before is what you need for finance and operations is no longer the need. And I would even say that Business Central is so much more simpler to for implementations. So, I guess if you have a company that really wants to spend a lot of money and fly consultants around and do these long drawn out implementations where you're on site for discovery for a week and then for CRP for another week and UAT and all of that, then you should go with finance and operations. But if you're no, I'm not hating on anyone or anything like that, but that's just how, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
I don't know, it's hard for me. I'm a bit biased now.
I think a lot of people see F&O and Business Central as that kind of exactly as you just described there, those two sort of sides. What about the more sort of CRM aspects of Business Central? I mean, do you see then a need if you were implementing Business Central as a small business, for example? Would you see the need to have a separate CRM system to handle your opportunity pipeline, or do you think Business Central is perfectly capable of doing all of that as well?
Yeah, it's funny. We've recently discussed that internally as well. So I really think it just depends on what you're currently working with, and how in depth your lead opportunities are. So Business Central, you have quote, I mean, you can do the whole quote to invoice aspect of it. And we've actually discussed on kind of maybe building a light CRM app, because it doesn't it doesn't have all of the sophistication as CRM does, right? But then sometimes CRM maybe is more than somebody can really handle, because that's a lot of work as well. It takes a lot of training and a lot of value in it. But depending on your business size, all of that may not be necessary. Maybe you just want to have kind of a light quoting thing. So it is missing some of the finer details that the CRM side of it has. But it does have some light aspects of it. And like I said, with Power Platform, you can easily create exactly what you need at a much more cost efficient price point as well, instead of having a whole new implementation.
Yeah, cool. Oh, Barry's just asked a question there. Does that make it a cheaper alternative to CRM?
So I guess that always just depends again on the scope and size of the project. But I mean, to me, if you have a CRM, what are you using for your finance, right? I mean, every company has to have a system to run their financials, or they're doing something. So depending on how in depth your CRM or lead opportunity generation needs to be, I would say that it could be cheaper, because then instead of maybe having to have two different systems, you would just have one. But I mean, if you're not doing anything with your finance side and you want to continue to beat your head against the wall and you just really care about your CRM, then of course, you would only have one there. So really just depends on the needs.
I think one of the things about the kind of the small business market is quite often they don't have sort of large financial departments that are dealing with things like transaction system integrations and VAT returns and all those kind of things. I mean, you did mention your demo, which was great, by the way. You did mention the kind of the marketplace. Are there connectors for things like Stripe, or different countries' VAT returns? Like in the UK, you have you have to do a VAT return to company's house. Are there kind of built-in integrations for those sort of services?
Yep. There's and that's what I really love about it. It's really like kind of a la carte. You can pick exactly like what you need. So you can do, like you said, you can have a VAT tax add-in. I mean, Business Central has tax and VAT capabilities out of the box, but they're kind of manual updated processes. And traditionally, I really don't recommend that. I always recommend using an additional, app source, especially because so many times you're already using that potentially. You know what I mean? There's already a service that you're using, so you have those VAT capabilities. You can even tie shops. I can't even think of a good one right now. I want to call it like web shop, I think is maybe basket cart, something like that. But there's some really nice, you can add your online storefront, seamlessly integrate that right into Business Central too, which is really, really popular right now, especially as with COVID and all the companies, trying to get this online capability. Maybe you can't open your store, right? So if you can't open your brick and mortar store, then you're going to go out of business. But if you can easily, integrate your web shop right into the backside of Business Central, you're good to go. And again, App Source really, that's why I say it really enables like your small business person. Like I can set it all up and look really professional. You know what I mean? Not to say that I'm not, but you know what I mean? And I think I think that's sometimes really what small businesses lack whenever they're trying to compete with big corporations, is having those, fancy applications and technologies. And with Business Central, you don't have to buy it all. You get to use exactly what you need. So really enables them that way.
Cool, thanks. So where's the best place to head if we wanted to see is there like a best place to see all the different integrations that are available? Can you easily discover them in AppSource just by filtering by Business Central? Is that the best way to do it?
Exactly. That's exactly what, I've done. And then even at that, so maybe there's like a specific finance one, you can even filter it down more on whether it's HR or sales, or, you know what I mean, whatever tax, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can even filter it down like by that. And then of course, because it's on AppSource, it has to be vetted out. And anytime that there's a update in Business Central, then if you get something from AppSource opposed to just doing maybe doing your own custom connector, then it's going to automatically upgrade with that. You can trust the products that are on there. A lot of them you can even try for free. You get a free 30-day trial, a lot of them. So you can just pop them right in there and say, oh, this works for me, or this doesn't. You get a lot of great documentation and reviews on there. So, I mean, anytime I'm on a call with a client and they're like, well, what about this? I really love this system. And I'm like, and they're like, can you do that? And I'm like secretly, like typing in the background, like appsource.com. And, so I'm like, yep, we can do that. Really? Oh, yeah. Have you done it? AppSource has it. We're good. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I don't know if there's any other questions. We're just at time now, but it's been a fantastic session. Thank you ever so much, Mary.
Let me do my little, in case you care where to find me, right? Oops, let me go one slide over.
Cool.
Yeah. So I assume that you're seeing my Find Me screen. I see the red highlight over there. So
yeah.
But yeah, so this is me. You can email me. That's super long. I know. I'm sorry. What you can do is click. This is a security code, so you can just pop out your phone, take a picture of that, and you can actually send me your email address, and I'll get in contact with you as well. But you can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, and I also have a YouTube channel that you can check out, where I've got like 11 or 12 different getting started with Business Central, quick 3, 4, 5 minute, slides or videos in there. So if you're curious or you're working with a product and you need some help, feel free to check that out as well.
Great stuff. Well, we often get questions in the feedback forms about, can we hear some information on Business Central? So hopefully this is going to be really interesting for people. And it's so the slides will be up on the d365ug.com/UK, and then we'll put the recording of this up on the same place, as well as YouTube as well, so people can check it out there. But thank you ever so much, Mary. It's been fantastic having you, and I know you're joining from the States as well, so time zones and everything. That's really appreciate it.
Thanks for ending your day, because I think it's pretty close to, I don't know what time it is there, 5 hours, 4:30, somewhere in there.
Yeah, well, it's a good segue into the next set of sessions, because the next 2:30 actually, we've got extending Dynamics 365 and CDS using the Power Platform, involving non-Dynamics 365 users in your process using actionable email messages. And also the third session is democratizing of data with customer insights. So got to pick between 3 of those next sessions. But a quick reminder to everyone, at the end of the day, don't forget to fill out your feedback forms and give Mary some amazing feedback on her session. And yeah, lastly, just to thank everyone attending, and thank you, Mary.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.